Sean Ross Sapp here of Wrestling Inc. with Karl Machine Gun Anderson, one of the brightest stars in New Japan. Karl, how are you doing?
Good, man. Thanks for having me. Sorry, it's been trying to get our schedules together, but I have 3 young kids who are nuts, and they're all over the place. So thanks for having me.
Well, you have the hashtag Hot Asian Wife, so I mean you can't help it, man.
Let's not forget that too. Yeah, she. I was actually in the middle of doing laundry right now. When I'm at home, man, it's just it's crazier than being on the road. It's hard to explain.
Plus, getting around inside that huge house, I mean, come on.
It doesn't. Yeah, it's hard, man. I got the people opening the garage and people opening the fucking doors and everything. It's tough, but you know, it's good for my cardio.
So, I mean, obviously, Bullet Club is blown up. I mean, it not has blown up. It has been blown up for quite a while. Did you anticipate anything this huge? I mean, especially domestically in America?
When I look back on it, I guess I did. But I know when it first started, we didn't. I don't think Ferg and myself and Tama and Fale realized. Probably, I don't think we realized exactly how big it would get with the amount of shirts that sold and just the feedback we got, the positive feedback we got, especially at first and when those Bone Soldier shirts came out. No, I don't think we did. But like I said, looking back on it, I know that, we all have such good chemistry and we have so much fun, in the ring together and doing what we do. I guess I should have realized it was going to be this big. It's been cool. It's been fun, and it's still, it's still going. Like people think a lot of people thought it was going to die, or it's dying, and there's too many people in it, and all this kind of bullshit. But it's still going good, and we're still making money, and we're still selling a lot of shirts. So I think we're doing good.
Yeah, I'm not one to typically purchase pro wrestling shirts, but my fiance got me a Bullet Club shirt for I think it was my birthday or something, and I was ecstatic. I mean, it transcends. I mean, I see people who don't have any idea what Bullet Club is or pro wrestling, they'll wear Bullet Club shirts, which I think that's a real indicator of how well the marketing is, how well all that stuff has worked out for you all. It's pretty cool. Obviously,
yeah,
also.
Cool, man. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I had nothing. I was going to put it over more and say, yeah. I was doing like I said, I was doing laundry earlier, and I realized I was hanging up like 15 Bullet Club shirts, different kinds that I had. And I was like, these are great, man. I actually was bragging to the hashtag Hot Asian Wife how well the Halloween Bullet Club shirts sold in Japan, and she was giving me shit because I didn't get her one. And I said, I wasn't able to get you one because they sold out too fast, baby. And that's it.
And now WWE has kind of taken their own thing from it with Finn Balor, and
yeah.
they've released the Balor Club shirts. How did you feel about that?
Oh, it's great. I love it. Ferg's one of my best buddies in the world, and I think it's awesome. WWE is WWE, man. It's huge. It's big. It's cool. I got a lot of great friends there, and I thought it was great. I loved it. I'm glad they made Balor Club, and you never know, someday it'd be cool to join it.
Indeed. I was going to ask you about that. Have you ever had any conversations with like WWE or TNA or anything about coming in?
Yeah, I've had lots of conversations, and you never know what can happen. It's I don't want to give the cliche answer and say like business first or whatever, or business is business. It's just
never say never.
If the right offer, I'll never say never. If the right offer came, you never know what can happen. Like, I love New Japan. I love wrestling in Japan, and I love the fans over there, and I love how comfortable I am there. I've been there for 8 years, but, if the right offer came, I'm not scared to come to America.
Speaking of WWE, former tag partner of yours, Jason Albert, known as Tensai, Giant Bernard, a million other things. He's helping head up NXT now. How did you feel when that happened? That was a pretty big move.
Yeah, he likes to let me know that he's the head coach down there, and he likes to let me know a lot. But it's a smart move, man. He's always been a respected guy within inside professional wrestling, especially. But he taught me a lot in Japan, man. He's got an unbelievably smart mind for pro wrestling and for the business, and I think it was just such a great move to put him to the, as head coach in NXT, man. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to learn a lot of things from him. So it's a great move, and I'm glad for him. I'm happy for him and happy for his family. He gets to be home more, and he's going to be great in that job.
Now, we talked about how big the Bullet Club has gotten. You also obviously have this huge Wrestle Kingdom 10 coming up in January. Last year's was a giant success in America. This year, New Japan using their New Japan World Service to bring us the show, which they also did for King of Pro Wrestling. You're facing Togi Makabe and Tomoaki Hanma. That's a big match. It's an IWGP Tag Team title match. You and Doc Gallows defending. I mean, do these giant shows ever get old to you? It can't.
No, man. It's sweet, man. I'm still pumped. I was playing with my kids today, and I got a call from AJ Styles, and then we were talking a little bit back and forth, and I realized that we have Wrestle Kingdom next week, and it just kind of slipped my mind, and I started getting pumped up again because it's going to be anywhere from I don't know the exact number, but it's going to be the over 30,000 range, and it's awesome, man. Like, and Makabe and Homer are over as you're going to find, especially in Japan, because they're both on regular TV with their own regular television shows in Japan, and so they're even more famous. They're actually transcending professional wrestling in Japan. So to be able to face them in Tokyo, which is like fucking New York for WWE, it's going to be sweet, and I'm really pumped up for that match, man.
Yeah, last year was my first real, obviously getting to watch Wrestle Kingdom live on pay-per-view, and it was amazing. Like, it was just, I had stayed up after the John Jones Daniel Cormier fight and covered Wrestle Kingdom 9, and it was just unbelievable. Nonstop. There's no like 20-minute gap between matches. It's one right after the other, and it's nonstop action. I love covering New Japan, especially Wrestle Kingdom. Man, that's some great stuff. And like I said, the tag team titles are on the line. New Japan brought in these new 6-man tag titles this week. What are your thoughts on that?
I just read that, and my first thought was I didn't get it, but then just because I'm still kind of, I don't think anybody's ever seen a 6-man, tag team championship. Maybe there has been one on the independent circuit somewhere. I don't know, but it made me realize that in Japan you have a lot of 6-mans and you have a lot of 8-mans, and like myself, Gallows, Tom, whoever you're teaming with, like we've had some really sweet 6-mans and some really sweet 8-mans that we've had, like in the countryside shows, or maybe there's a big one in Osaka here and there. But these 6-mans, if they're done correctly, man, can be really, really sweet. So the more I thought about it, that's going to be really cool. But then it's going to be just more big matches for the big shows, and it's gonna make it more fun, man. Because there's some 6-man like people that there's some 6-mans you can have some badass matches. So I think it's cool. It'll be cool and it's different,
Yeah, NWA did a 6-man tag title like way back in the day, and WCW did briefly. But I mean, we saw in America the 6-man tag scene blow up, obviously with the Shield and the Wyatts and things like that. One of the funniest comments I saw about the announcement was that the Bullet Club was going to get a few more things to hold their pants up with these titles. So
yeah,
and
I think
they're taking
Fale, Tama, Yujiro maybe.
Yeah, it's going to be them against the Briscoes and Yano. So that might be more gold for you guys. You all could walk out with, let's see, man, the IWGP Intercontinental, Junior Heavyweight, the tag titles, and the 6-man. That's a lot of gold for you, and the Junior Heavyweight tag title.
A lot of gold, man.
Jesus.
A lot of gold, man. I think AJ will be the Intercontinental Champion after his match with Shinsuke. The Bullet Club's been. We've been on top in Japan for a while, or for a couple of years now, and I just don't see it stopping.
And I mean, if you all take home all those titles, that's going to make for an interesting episode of Talkin' Shop. Why don't you tell these people about that?
Talkin' Shop, man, live on MLW Radio. It is literally the worst fucking podcast in the entire world. Rocky Romero, myself, Gallows, we thought that we had interesting lives, and we always sat in the hotel room, and we always drank beer after the shows or nights off anyway. And so we thought it'd be cool to just like put a microphone there and just start talking shop, just bullshitting. And, it's been a hit. Like, I don't know how good it is, but I know that we get a bunch of messages from people saying they're drinking their beer and they're cracking it open and they're listening to talking shop. So if you want to listen to 30 minutes of complete bullshit, find our podcast.
I also really enjoyed, you all did a DVD for High Spots earlier this year, and it was just you all partying.
That was...
It was great.
Tama and myself and Gallows, we talked about, we can't even bring ourselves to watch that yet because we just drank so much beer, and we haven't seen it yet. So I don't know if we're embarrassed of what we said or what we did or whatever, but yeah, well, like I said, it was fun. It was after a show in Charlotte, and we just sat there and bullshitted. So I'm glad you liked it. Yeah,
you and Doc Gallows especially have some of the greatest personality outside of the ring that I've ever seen. I mean, Jesus Christ, I can only imagine what that's like, especially in Japan.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like, Gallows is if somebody could just tap into Gallows' real personality, man, he's one of the funniest brothers in the entire world. And I think if there's anybody that sits on the bus or travels with us, if you get Gallows and myself together, like, we just fucking feed off each other, and we can go ridiculous amounts of ways, to the point where we go back and forth for 5-6 hours on bus rides, and AJ Styles is yelling at us to shut up. But, kind of how it goes.
New Japan's moved like aggressively into the U.S. this year with Wrestle Kingdom and the King of Pro Wrestling English language commentary and New Japan on Access. Is that something that, like, they come to you as, a United States talent and say that maybe they ask for advice, or they say, hey, help us out with this, or anything of that nature?
No, they don't. New Japan has a way that they do their own thing. They're very how do I say it? They know what they're doing. They know what they want to do. They know where they want to go, and they've got a vision, and they're just doing it. They don't ask me advice on any of that kind of stuff, and so then they seem to be doing fine. So they don't need it, And so I don't know if down the line they're gonna need some more. They're gonna need some kind of advice from somebody in America or something. But yeah, I'd like to see where New Japan Pro can go in the next 5 to 10 years, and I think it could blow up if it's done properly.
Have you noticed much of a difference when you're back over in the States since it's aired on, like, Access or anything like that?
No, I haven't, man. I haven't got a chance to even see it because I don't get it on my television. So no, I haven't noticed a whole lot, man. I when I come in, I do the Ring of Honor shows and I do the little shows like I'm doing NWF wrestling by the guy that trained me, named Roger Ruffin. He runs the NWF here in Cincinnati, and when I do their shows, man, like, just say there's 300 people in his show, like, there's 150 Bullet Club shirts there, or 150 Bullet Club fans, and I don't think they've even seen me on Access TV. They've just seen me from, I don't know, maybe the internet or YouTube or whatever they do to follow New Japan. But
yeah, I would highly suggest, if you ever get a chance to, man, Mauro Ranallo and Josh Barnett can call the hell out of a match. Yeah. It's great that Mauro is going to WWE because I think he'll change the culture there. But man, the way that Josh Barnett calls it, as if it's a legitimate sport, it's fantastic. Yeah. It's really great stuff.
Also, my grandmother. Sorry, my grandmother, my 90-year-old grandmother, was able to watch it in Detroit. So she was able to go to her friend's house and watch it, and she loved it. And then I saw a clip of me dropping an F-bomb when AJ was walking to the ring, and I asked Grandma if she heard that, and she goes, "No, I didn't hear it." I was like, "That's good, Grandma."
Yeah, they didn't bleep it at all. I remember I sent you a tweet.
Oh, was that okay? Maybe that's how I saw it. Okay.
Yeah, they didn't bleep it like one bit. I was very surprised.
And you could clearly hear it. So.
Yeah. But yeah, you're tagging with Doc Gallows and Ring of Honor here pretty soon as well.
Yeah, no, I love coming to Ring of Honor, and you know, I like all the brothers there, man. They're cool, and the office there, and Ring of Honor's been great to me, great to us. It's Asheville, North Carolina is where I grew up. I mean, that place to wrestling at, the Ag Center. It's like maybe 15 minutes from the house I grew up in, and so I'm kind of pumped about that. And yeah, I love coming to Ring of Honor. It's always fun, man.
My family made me go to the Biltmore in Asheville. I was underwhelmed. But Asheville's beautiful.
Yeah, you know, Asheville's beautiful. Like, it's just a big-ass house. The Biltmore house is cool if you can take it for what it is. That's it.
Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, man, it's a big-ass house. Well, of course, to you, it's just a big-ass house, Karl. I mean...
Oh, yeah, it's the same size as mine here in Fairfield.
Yeah. You have your greenhouse in the back and all that stuff, all that good crap.
Yeah, of course.
You know, a couple more questions before I let you go.
Yep.
You took a move that's been used a lot in wrestling, and you made it your own in the gun stun.
Yeah.
You've had to put some effort into that because you really we see the RKO out of nowhere stuff here in America, but you're pulling it off probably out of more spots than a guy like Randy Orton is, and you've really taken that move and made it your own.
Yeah, you know, Randy Orton is one of the best wrestlers ever. He's fucking awesome. But I always loved the Diamond Cutter when I saw it. You know, Randy Orton did his thing with it and made it, you know, as famous as he's made it. And then, you know, I knew I was about to get a nice push in New Japan, and I didn't have like a really good finisher. And I looked around the roster and I realized that nobody was using the cutter, man, and the Diamond Cutter, the Ace Cutter, RKO, whatever you wanted to call it. And I just had a feeling that it was gonna be sweet, and I hit it on Rocky Romero for the first time, and I came to the back, and one of the guys in charge goes, "I love that move, man. Keep it." And then, you know, I think I've protected it well enough now. Like, you know, nobody's kicked out of it, I don't think, for like 6 or 7 years now, and so it's just. People know that, you know, in the Japanese fans have just, you know, they like it, they love it, they know when I hit it, and it's a 1, 2, 3, or it's a big move. It's cool. I like doing it, and yeah, there's been a lot of sweet, you know, the guys have taken sweet bumps for me on, you know, a bunch of different out of nowhere spots. It's been pretty cool.
Also, you've done a little bit of work with Global Force Wrestling. What's that been like?
Fun. I've anytime somebody asks me about GFW, I have nothing to say bad at all. It was awesome. They were fun as hell. There was tons of Balor Club fans. Like, it was a real relaxed environment, sweet locker room. All the boys were cool. Jeff was great. Jeff and Karen were awesome. Like, it's cool to see Sanjay when we go. It's just I've loved it. I loved wrestling at the baseball stadiums because, man, it's just fun to be at a ballpark and be outside, and it was always a good time. And I hope the best for GFW, man. I hope they can catch on with whatever they're trying to catch on with, and do what they want to do, because I'd like to work for them as much as possible.
Now, tell an American wrestling fan, or really any wrestling fan that isn't familiar with New Japan or Wrestle Kingdom, it's something they can look forward to, something that might entice them to watch Wrestle Kingdom in January.
You know, Wrestle Kingdom it's the biggest event in Japan for the Japanese wrestling fans. It's like WrestleMania in Japan. It's cool to be able to know that there's other wrestling companies thriving besides WWE. You know, you'll turn this TV on, and you're going to see anywhere from 30 to 50,000 people inside this dome, and realize this is going on in Japan. And there's another place in the world where you can get that many people. And like, New Japan Pro Wrestling is thriving, and it's not going anywhere. It's only going to thrive more and more, because they've got, you know, 15 or 16 foreigners, you know, under contracts now that they're booking almost every single tour, and it's catching on well. They have an owner that has a lot of money, and New Japan is doing great. You're going to see awesome wrestling. It's it's hard hitting, but there's some cool flying. It's the best wrestling probably in the world when it comes down to actually in between the ropes.
Yeah, it's a true mixed bag of great stuff. And also tell the fans where they can follow you on social media.
You can follow me on the old on Twitter at MachineGunKA, and that's it. Just follow me there, and I'll write some funny shit sometimes, and then that's it. on there.
Also, guys, check out Karl Anderson's Pro Wrestling Tees page. This dude has like 20 different designs up, probably more than that. I think, yeah, it's over 20.
Yeah.
Lots of great stuff on there. You'll probably go to buy a shirt and be like, yeah, it's great stuff. Pro Wrestling Tees does really good stuff. And I personally want to thank you for bringing a championship to Cincinnati, you and Dean Ambrose, because it's the only thing that we've had, the only one we've had in Cincinnati for a long time.
Yes, Ambrose is doing great, man. Moxley's a superstar, and he's just going to keep staying a superstar, man. He's as good as they get.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. I know you got a crazy schedule, but Wrestle Kingdom 10, January 4th. We encourage all of our readers and listeners to check it out. But thank you again, Karl.
Hey, thank you, bro. Thanks for having me. Let's do it again.